part of this webinar. A special welcome to our guest speaker, Ms. Ntombizine Fikeni. Sorry, I omitted to introduce myself. My name is Nishi Govender. I'm the Manager of Fundraising and Alumni Relations. Once again, thank you for joining. I am sure you will find the information useful. This webinar forms part of a series of webinars on mentorship that the Advancement and Alumni Relations Office will be hosting. The first was held in May with Ms. Arusha Dasrat, who is the Managing Director of Supreme Consulting, as the guest speaker, and her presentation focused on what makes a beneficial mentorship program, what are the roles of mentors and mentees, and the advantages of being in a mentorship program. So for future webinars, you will be advised accordingly of the dates of webinars and the subsequent topics and speakers. Ms. Fikeni will be focusing on advice for work readiness and CV writing. I'm sure we all know that CVs are sort of regarded as first dates in the selection process that could land you on a new career path, and first impressions are lasting ones. So your CV is usually the first impression with a potential employer. And of course, workplace readiness skills are also important because they ensure that workers have the basic academic, critical thinking, and personal skills necessary to maintain employment. So I'm sure you'll find the information useful on that's being presented today. And once Ms. Fikeni is done, you are most welcome to post your questions on the chat facility, or you can raise your hand. So as soon as she's done with her presentation, you're welcome to put forward questions. But if you will allow me now, sorry, in terms of the program as well, once Ms. Fikeni has done with her presentation and the questions that follow, thereafter my colleague, Priti Zulu, who is the Fundraising and Stewardship Officer, will then address you on the departmental fundraising programs. So there might be programs that you wish to support, or these programs that she refers to that you wish to support, and we would greatly welcome that support. And finally, my other colleague, our tech guru, Zippo Kamani, who's also our database and prospect research officer, will give you a demonstration on the ways to give should you wish to support any of the programs. But if you will allow me now to introduce you to Ms. Fikeni, who is our guest speaker for today. Ms. Fikeni is registered as an independent environmental health practitioner with the Health Professional Council in South Africa, employed by Tegweni Municipality. She has completed a National Diploma in Environmental Health from DUT in 2012 and completed a bachelor's degree in Environmental Health from University of Johannesburg in 2017. She has also completed a postgraduate diploma in Business Administration from UNISA Graduate School of Business Leadership in 2020. And she has also obtained a law enforcement certificate from Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. Ms. Fikeni is a former DUT SRC Treasurer from 2011 to 2012, and she is currently a member of the Executive Committee of Convocation. Ms. Fikeni has been offered and has accepted a new position as Senior Manager Environmental Health Services at King Cetshwayo District Municipality, and this is a position she takes up effective on the 1st of July 2021, and we wish her well in her new venture. Ms. Fikeni, I hand over to you for your presentation. Thank you. Ms. Fikeni, you are muted.
Hello.
Hi. You may go ahead, Ms. Fikeni.
Thank you very much, Nishi. Good morning, colleagues. As I've been introduced, my name is Ntombizine Fikeni. I'll be taking you through a few slides. I will try by all means not to bore you. And then I am not an expert on the field. However, I'll be sharing things that have worked for me and worked for my colleagues and friends that I'm close with. So please don't expect that it's from an expert. It's things that it has helped and is still helping us as well. So the objectives of this presentation is to equip final year students, recent graduates, job seekers. The reality is that when we go to the university or to colleges, where we get formal education, the main purpose is for us to get it's either employment or business opportunities. So it's a personal choice whether you want to use your skills or your qualification for employment or for businesses. Obviously, as the DUT graduate, the idea is that after you have graduated from DUT, wherever you go, whether you opt for business or whether you go for employment, when you go to those interviews, you become the first option as compared to other universities. So the quality of knowledge, skills that you get after you have graduated, it must make sure that you are number one. So sometimes you'll ask yourself, where do you get all those experiences? That's why when you're doing your assignments, you're doing your project while you're still at the university, you make sure that you do it rightly so that you acquire all necessary skills. And also, it will also cover knowledge sharing, because it might happen that you've got the qualification, but still you don't know what next that will also work for you. So that's why I opted to put it like that, so that at the end of this presentation, I'll be able to know that at least we have covered this and then we have achieved. Because it might happen that you are also working, but obviously you still need to improve your skills. You still need to get a better job, better position. So it doesn't stop. So even your CV, it does not mean that you use the first version that you use when you were with your first employment. So it's a matter of changing, trying to check other versions that might also work for you. And then I'll start by speaking about CV writing tips. A CV, it's a first step of any job search, because for anyone, when you're looking for any employment, you need to do, or you need to craft your CV in a manner that it interprets you. When someone opens your CV, you must be able to say, oh, okay, this is the type of person based on what we have included in your CV. Obviously, important information, your personal information, and it must be accurate. It must be a true information, because remember, when they employ you and they find out that you included wrong information, they might dismiss or decline the offer, even if we have already started. And we have seen in some higher position people that have been appointed or working for years, only to find out that they included wrong information. So it's very important when you are crafting your CV, you make sure that you include correct information. Personal information, contact details, your email address. And then if you're a job seeker, make sure that at least after 2 days or once a week, you check your emails, because sometimes some employers, they will use your contact number, or they will try to email you if they want to offer you something or they want to some information before they even shortlist you. So when you doing your CV, make sure that your information is correct. Proofread what you have included in your CV as well. Some people believe that CV must be a 2-page, 3 pages. With mine, it's a 4 pages excluding motivational letter. So it depends on the individual, but as long you include things that they will market you, if I can put it that way. For example, you might have a qualification like marketing. Let me make an example, marketing. There's like many universities in South Africa, even outside our country, that are offering the qualification, marketing qualification. But now what will make you unique from other candidates? And remember, when you are applying, they don't know you in person. You don't know people that will be shortlisting. So your CV must be short as much as possible, but it must cover important things, important, unique skills that you have, so that when they are shortlisting, they will see that, okay, we can see that these 20 people that applied for this position, they are all qualifying, but there is this one person with unique skills. So you must include whatever that you think that is relevant to your profession and that will work for you. And you must know which part must be first on your CV as well. And then now, how do you craft a CV, a professional CV, without any experience? I always say to my colleagues, as much as we will say when after completing your qualification, you don't have professional experience, but for the fact that during your studies, you do assignments, lecturers expect you to do a thorough research that is relevant to the topic. Sometimes you'll go to the industries, to companies, you'll go and interview people to get more information. That's part of professional experience, because that's what you are getting when you're doing those assignments. So for me, that's part of experience. So you must include in your CV that during your first year, this is what you have done, and these are the skills that you learn from your assignments. But obviously you will see which one will have more weights, because as much as maybe you'll have 5 modules, but you'll know which assignment that made you to learn something. So you must also include those skills when you are crafting your CV, because now you're trying to make sure that the potential employer, they must see that as much as you have not been employed as yet, but in your CV, it shows that you've got those qualities. At least you were able to identify things that helped you, or something that added value in your career. So you must try to include those things in your CV. And I know DUT also offers WIL, whereby they allow taking students to different companies that that is relevant to their qualification. So when you're visiting those companies, try by all means to jot down everything. You take notes for everything. You detail so that you identify how does it relate to your qualification, and what skills are you acquiring while you are still in that company. So that's part of experience. So you must also include in your CV as well, to say this is what we have done. I'll make an example with us, environmental health. They took us to the mines, it was part of occupational health and safety, it's part of an experience. We spent about a week. It's part of an experience that even now I am working, but I've never been to the mines. But it's something that I've gained while I was still studying. I am still including it even now to my CV, that these are the skills, or this is what I've been exposed, and then I've got an idea, so that when they shortlist me, they will know that, you see, this candidate, he has a potential of learning and has a potential of knowing different things, not necessarily that will be employed for the fact that I've got skills from mines, I've got skills from your bakeries, I've got skills from normal companies like your municipalities, your government institutions. So when someone is reading a CV that has different types of experiences, of different exposures, it also shows that, okay, this candidate, it's possible that if we can take, she or he can add value in the system. So those are the types of things that you need to include in your professional CV. Obviously, as per the advert, you will see what they want in this particular advert. And then you try to make sure that you add something that you have done, something that is true. You don't include something that you have not done, because they will be able to pick it up. And even if you've been employed, and as I've said it earlier, that it is very important not to lie. And now we can see that most companies now, they've started doing online applications, whereby even the agencies now, you can go to any agencies, and then you load your information. Whenever there is any potential employer, they'll go to those agencies to pick up the suitable candidate. So it's very important when you are adding your information in those online applications, you ensure that you put correct information and recent information, and what will be relevant to the position that you are applying for. I know that some employers, they will have options like your online plus your hand delivery. For example, the eThekwini municipality, they offer 2 options, but obviously now they're going more on online. So whatever information that is on hand delivery, your CV that you will hand deliver in those HR offices, make sure that it's accurate. It's the same information that you also loaded on the online application. And then if they're saying upload your certified documents like your certificates, your ID copy, please read the instruction. Make sure that you follow the instruction, because at times they will say certified ID copy, and then you just put ID copy without being certified. Obviously, when they're shortlisting, seeing 50 or 100 application forms, and they can say that, okay, now all these people are qualifying, but these 5, they did not follow the instruction, and they disqualify you. So it's very important when you are completing those online application. In fact, even your CV, even with handwritten application, make sure that you put accurate information, you read instructions as well. And then even with the pictures as well, some they opt to put their pictures on their CVs, and then even on the application form, but try to put a professional CV that will portray you. When someone sees this CV, say it's someone that will be professional for the job. Obviously, with the jobs, they're not the same. So you'll know your career, you know what you want to do. So try to be professional as much as possible. If it's clear, and then obviously maybe put a smile. And then now the skills development, because remember, we can have a beautiful qualification, maybe 10 different qualifications, but if you don't have skills, those qualifications won't take you anywhere. So as an individual, it is very important to identify your skills, your unique skills, and try to capitalize on those unique skills. We are not the same. We might have the same qualifications, same years of experience, but our skills are not the same. And it also determines our pace of progress as well, because as our skills are not the same, and you are not using your unique skills at your own advantage, it means you'll be in that position for years. You will be complaining, asking yourself, other people, they've been employed, you have completed your qualification, but you have not getting any, or they are not shortlisting you, or they are shortlisting you. When it's time for you to present yourself, you don't have those skills. So it is very important, once you have identified your skills, now you'll decide whether your qualification will take you for employment or for business opportunities. You'll know which one will work better, because as we are studying, it does not mean all of us will be opting for employment. So identify which one will work best for you, and then you make sure that you use those skills. As the statement says on my presentation, your skills are your tools to achieve your goals. So if you've got goals, but you don't have skills, you will never reach your goals. So once you have identified your goal, your skills, you'll be able to work towards achieving your goals. And now another thing that is I can say is compromising us is not reading. If you don't read, you end up not knowing what is happening. You end up not knowing what you know, what you don't know. So continuous reading, it helps to capacitate yourself and also to self-develop yourself, to self-development, because things are changing. You might have a qualification 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, but it does not mean things are still applied as you got your qualification. So let's continue reading, even if it's reading a book, because it also makes you to self-esteem, to gain more self-esteem as well. So let's update ourselves with the latest information. And then you know your career, you know what you want to do, you know your goal. Update yourself. Read. You must know, because when you're attending these interviews, they will ask you with the recent information. Check if you're using bylaws, legislations, policies. You must read. With pandemic, with COVID, you must ask yourself, how does it affect your profession? How does it affect you as an individual? And what can you do now to make sure that it does not compromise, or it doesn't make your qualification not to be relevant as well? Because that is what's happening. But now, because some careers or some qualification, they end up losing interest in the system, because you ask yourself, what is the point of doing this qualification? Because now with COVID, it has shown us that most of the things we must do online. So if you were doing things manually, what other skills, what other methods can you do to ensure that your profession or your qualification is still relevant within the society? And now you ask yourself, now you've got all these, you have identified the skills, you know your goals, and then you are updating yourself. Now, are you ready now? Because our concentration for today, it's about work readiness. Are you ready now with your skills? You have your basic academic, which is your qualification. You can read, you can write, you can do basic maths, you can do communication skills. Because another thing, if you cannot read, you cannot write reports, you cannot do basic, because basic maths. And then whatever that it has been written, can you communicate? Because if you can't communicate, you don't have good communication skills, it means you're not ready enough. So those are the things that you need to work on, to say, how do I improve myself now for reading, for writing as well, and then communication skills as well. And now critical thinking. Now you know what you want to do, and then you are employed. Let's say you are employed now, or you still or you are planning to attend interviews. Can you think beyond what is presented to you? But can you do that without you continuous reading? The answer is no. So it means reading, continuous reading, updating yourself. It means you'll be able to solve any situation that is presented on you. And then you'll be able to say, but I've read something, I think we can approach it this way. You see, because you must be able to think beyond what is presented to you. And then interpersonal skills is very important. Professional competence. Most companies now, when they're employing, they also undertake you, more special private companies, before they finalize the employment, they will take you for competency assessments. You must do those PETINs, maths. Those are the things that while you're still looking for employment, you must ask yourself, are you ready for this? Can you do this? Should you be given this assessment? Can you be able to do this? But obviously that is relevant to your profession and relevant to what you'll be applying for. So these are some of the skills helping for employees to be able to interact with supervisors and co-workers as well. So once we have been employed, you'll be able to use all these skills within your work to be able to make your working environment or working space easy as well. Because it's easy when someone's trying to frustrate you now, you use other ways of other skills so that you don't get yourself frustrated. Now, work pressure and dynamics. I always say it's one of the things that I feel when we are at the university, we are not taught or we are not told to prepare ourselves, because you get to these employment or to these institutions or to these companies with the hope that they will welcome you, they will guide you, they will teach you, but at times they will feel intimidated, or they will try by all means to suppress you, to suppress your confidence. But now, does it mean you must be miserable, you must mourn, you must complain? No. Number one, you must understand the boundaries, you must understand the protocol, you must understand this is what is expected from me. When they're doing the induction or when you're consulting your supervisor, try to take something to write so that you jot down everything. You must understand this is a procedure, this is what you need to do, this is how you must do it. Because at times they will feel that now you're coming to their space, you're coming to overcrowd them, or you're coming to overpower them in their space. So once you understand your boundary, the protocol, and then also in consultation to your supervisor as well, everything you do, you consult, you say, this is how you think, this is how you think. As much as they will say, this is how we've been doing things, because at times they will tell you, no. Even if you try to be proactive, creative, you try to introduce innovative ideas, but they will tell you, no, we've been doing like this. This is how things are done in this company. So you don't get demoralized. You try to cry, but in front of them, you put that smile. You make sure that the work is done, and work ethics as well. It's very important. You must understand work ethics. If you feel this whatever that you're doing now is wrong, you don't do it, because end of the day you are accountable and you are responsible for whatever action that you have been given. So make sure that every time before you start doing anything, you ask yourself, is it right or wrong? And if you feel that it's wrong, we know what is wrong. If you feel that it's wrong, don't do it, because when they ask you, why did you do this, you must be able to say it was because of 1, 2, and 3. And at the same time, if your superiors are asking you to do something that you feel it's not right, ask for them to put it in writing, so that at least you know it was an instruction. Because if you just take instruction that are not written, and then next day we are being told that you've done something that is wrong, you won't have any backup, you don't have anyone that will be able to say, yes, I've given you instruction. But at least if it's written, you'll be able to say, my superior said I must do this, but obviously in a polite way, so that end of the day they don't feel you don't take instruction from them. Time management. In fact, it's one of the things that I feel, if you can't manage time, it's difficult for you to adjust at any work environment. So time management is very important. Allocate time for any task that you've been given. Respect time. If you are supposed to be on in a meeting, maybe that starts at 10 o'clock, at least 10 to be seated, ready for the meeting. And you must always be ready, be prepared for the meeting as well. Dress code. You know your work. If you're expected to wear safety shoes, overalls, reflectors, all those things you must respect. If you know you are working in the office, you must also make sure that you were representable. You know when you are representative, you were representable, so that, because end of the day, it does not mean when you are at that office, it's the end of the road. You know, you still want to go far, you represent yourself. And even if you feel this working environment is frustrating you, but at least you must wear representable. You must understand the dress code, so that one day, because you might not know, someone will come inside in your office, not knowing that one day he or she will be your employer. So that's why every day, Monday to Friday, if you work Monday to Friday, if you work during the weekends as well, depending on the nature of your work as well, try to be proactive as well. And then you must be able to justify and able to explain why you want to do that, not to say, no, I don't want to do what has been done in that particular work, but trying to bringing innovative ideas, sharing information as well. It helps the co-workers, the supervisors be able to accept you, be able to work with you without any frustrations. And now, how do you manage working life? The reality is that we're going through a lot. As we wake up every day going to work, we've got a lot of other issues, personal issues, but how do you manage the working life as well? You must understand what is expected from you. Most employees, they've got performance management. They will give you to sign a performance management. You must ask what is expected from you and how to do it. Once you understand, and then you must ask yourself when you are waking up, why I'm waking up just because I'll get salary, or do I add value in the system, and what other things that can I do? But truly speaking, I understand it gets frustrating. You try, because sometimes you'll ask with the aim of trying to add value or adding new idea, but somehow someone that is up there will try to suppress your ideas, or what they will do, they will take your work and put their signature at the bottom as if it's their work. But end of the day, the truth will come. Hence, I said the previous slide, work ethics always goes hand in hand when you're at work. And then you must also make your workspace work for you. I don't know how to explain this one, but as much as it's frustrating to be at work, but try by all means not to show that frustration. Try to make sure that it works for you. You do what you can do your best. One of the chief director for environmental health once said to me, at times we'll have no resources, but with the little resources at your little corner, at least identify one thing that you will say, at least I've done this one positive thing today, as much as we had so many challenges. Because end of the day, one day, that one positive thing that you have done, it will, because you know it, you know it, you've done it proudly, and it was your initiative. It will always last for you as well. Even if when you're going for the interviews, will be able to express yourself and make example on what we have done. Have set of work hours and stick on them. I always say don't take work to home, but now most people are working from home. But between 8 to 4 or between 8 to 5 or 4:30, those are working hours. Try to do your work during those hours so that you know that when you are at home, you get enough rest, you get enough time to spend with your family as well. Knowing work values is very important. You must also know that your health is very important as well, because if you think that you'll overwork yourself, if something happens to you, immediately you resign or you pass on, or something happens, you decide to leave the employment, they will hire someone, they will get a replacement. So your health is very important as well. You must always seek for help from your supervisors as well. You must also seek for resources. If you feel that you can't do your work because you need resources, always say, I need to do this, but now I think I won't be able to do it because I need 1, 2, and 3. So at least your superiors or your co-workers will be able to assist you, or sometimes they will be able to borrow from their side as well. I think that's the end of my presentation. Yeah, thank you for your time, colleagues. I hope it was helpful from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fikeni. That was truly a very informative presentation, and judging by the number of comments that we are getting in the chat, I'm sure you've made an impression on many of them, and many have questions. So I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Pretty, there are some questions that have been posed in the chat. But guess we might not be able to go through all of the questions. However, once the session is over, we will still be able to answer you if we run out of time, because we still have two more speakers. That's Ms. Zulu and Mr. Tramane. We will, however, try and get through most of the questions. Pretty, can I hand over to you to just go through the questions that have been posted on the chat?
Okay, thank you, Nishi. Thanks, Ntombi, and good morning to everyone. I am Pretty. I'm just going to go through some questions that have been posed in the comment section, and I hope I'll cover them all. But as Nishi said, due to time, hopefully we can get through everything. So I'm just going to go off a warm here as how the questions came in. There's a question, two questions from Kay Gordon. The question one was, Ntombi mentioned a referral letter earlier on. Would you say that having one from a previous employer gives you a competitive advantage? That's question one.
Pretty, must I wait for all the questions, or must I answer as you?
I think let's just go question, answer, because I think we'll forget as if we do it all questions and then answers.
Pretty, can you please?
So you may answer now, Ms. Fikeni, this question that was posed.
Let me repeat the question.
Okay.
Okay. You mentioned a referral letter earlier on. Would you say that having one from a previous employer gives you a competitive advantage?
Thank you, Pretty. Yes, I think it does, because that's part of experience as well. More especially when the previous employer wrote well about you, it also covers what we have learned. I think it does. It does. It really does. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Here's the second question. It reads, she has heard of many people saying that you should include references on your CV, while many believe that you should only give them when requested by a potential employer. What is your take?
Okay. My take on this one, I think it's personal. It depends on the individual, because end of the day, once they've shortlisted you, they liked your CV, they will ask for further information. They will call you and ask for the references. But with me, I always put the references, because I don't want to be contacted while they're still shortlisting. I just want to be contacted for the interview. So with me, I always put 3 references, and I always tell them, I communicate with them. If I with my references, I always tell them, now I've got this new qualification, now this is what this is the new skill that I've acquired. So I communicate with my references. So yeah, I think it's very wisely to keep a good relationship with your references as well.
Sorry, Pretty. With regards to the questions, perhaps we can take 3 questions at a time, and then Ms. Fikeni can respond to those 3 questions at a time, if that's okay with you, Ms. Fikeni.
Yes.
In terms of time, we've actually got 20 minutes left. So we'll try and go through the question, as many questions as we can, just to allow also for the other 2 speakers to have their bit. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Nish. Let me do it that way. Okay, let me pose 3 questions. Question number 1, how best can someone build confidence when called for interviews? Number 2, how to increase chances of being called or shortlisted? What should be included on the CV? And in the last one, I think M. Shade didn't hear you quite correctly or well when you spoke about something. It reads, please can someone repeat the part where Ms. Fikeni said DUT has a platform to assist us get exposure to our careers. She mentioned that she went to a ... I didn't hear her properly. So where should we go to get that assistance?
Okay, thank you, Pretty. Okay, I'll start with the last question. Most departments, they offer experimental training, whereby students are still within the university before they completing their qualification, they'll send to those different companies. Some it's will. You'll go to the company after you have completed, but it depends. But it's within the university. I'm sure Nish from your side will be able to share exact information. But definitely with the departments, each department, they have a working relationship with different companies as well. But with the will, there is a structured information or unit or department that is responsible for that. And then how do you build now the confidence when you're attending the interviews? Number one, you need to do research about the company. You need to know what are their current challenges. You need to compare that company with other similar companies so that when you're attending the interviews, as much as you'll be expressing yourself, but you must be able to show that this is what we have learned from their website or from their where they keep their information. And then this is what you have seen in other companies or their competitors, and this is what you think you are bringing as the candidate as well. But researching about the company and being prepared when you're attending the interviews as well, it really helps. With me, what has helped me at times when they ask me something that I feel that I don't know, I will answer something that is similar or related to what they were asking and showing them that I've got understanding or knowledge. However, with this particular question, I don't have information, so that at least I answer something and then showing that I do have information and I've done my research. And then what I think I've covered what you need to include on your CV so that to ensure that they shortlist you, is to ensure that you include things that will make sure that that are unique about you. If you've got other skills, let's say you've attended your will or your experimental training in one of the company, you also include that so that it will show that you are unique from other candidates as well. So those are the things. If maybe you are volunteering in the community, you are doing any other project, you must also include those things as well. If you have done presentation, you have done project, community project, you must also try to include. But as long it will be relevant to the position that you're applying, and then it will also interpret your interpersonal skills as well. Thank you.
Sorry, Pretty, before you join, go ahead. Yes, the students can get hold of the co-op department to assist with work integrated learning, and the faculties have work integrated learning coordinators as well. But with respect to advancement in alumni relations, students and alumni can also register on DUT Connect, which will give them access to some job portals and employment opportunities that we post from time to time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nishi. We just have two last questions. First question, what type of questions that are good to ask when in an interview? That's question one. And then the second question packs a punch. It's a pretty long question, but I think it's very important that we cover it. So it reads, how can the newly employed prepare themselves to deal with toxic working environments? Racism, tribalism, sexism, prejudice, and bullying are just some of the things that employees deal with. People that have been working for a bit longer have found ways to deal with these, but how can a graduate deal with them?
Okay, Preeti, can you please repeat the first question?
The first question is, this person would like to know what type of questions are good to ask in an interview.
Okay, thank you, Preeti. Okay, number two, it's a bit difficult, but I will share as per my experience. Number one, people that they've been in the system, they're so entitled. They feel they own everything. Hence, I said in the previous slides, you must understand the boundaries. You must understand the protocol. You must understand what is expected from you. and try to communicate via emails. Everything must be most of the time must be in written, because sometimes they will give you instructions that are not work related. Sometimes they will ask you things to do that are not work related. Sometimes they won't give you work. But it's a matter of trying to make a working relationship with your supervisor. Obviously, if you feel that it's not working, they've got a supervisors as well, they've got managers, try to address that. And sometimes what normally works for me, you see in the meeting, if you feel that you've tried to address some of the things, but you are treated unfairly, try in the meeting, in the staff meeting where it's minuted, but try to other ways to put it there, so that at least maybe other colleagues, they're not aware of your frustration or whatever that is frustrating you. They've got a solution. Try to put it as a question, as a concern or something, but in a right way, not in an aggressive way, in a meeting, so that at least maybe you'll be able to get a solution. Because another thing that is compromising or frustrating people in their work environment, the gossip, passage talk. Try to minimize that. If you feel that you were not happy with the treatment from someone, try to go, maybe not on the same day, following day, try to go to say, but the way that you handle this, can we please next time not to do it? I was hoping to do it like this, but it's quite challenging. And yeah, the questions, it depends. Like, for example, if you feel with me, what I normally do because normally after they've done asking you question, they will ask, do you have any concern or any question? If I feel there was a question that I was not I was not convinced that I answered it correctly, and then when I'm asking them the question, I'll be more like giving them asking them, but while I have an answer, while I ask something, maybe I'll ask something that was part of the question, trying to emphasize that this is what I understood it, this is how I know it, and then also to add it on the question. But it's a bit tricky because it depends on how they ask your questions. But I always try to ask something, but in more like emphasizing what I was explaining on the previous answers. I'm not sure whether I answered it right, this one. Yeah, pretty.
Yes, no, I think that was great. I think just the last question of how do you graduates deal with oh, but you did. No, I think
yes,
those are all the questions that I found. Yes, on my side, that's all.
Thanks, Pretty.
Are those the last questions, Pretty?
Yes, that was the last question, Nishi.
Okay, thank you so much for your questions. If we have not attended to it, we will respond to you accordingly. We've got about 12 minutes left before the session ends, so I'd like to hand over to Pretty Zulu, our Fundraising and Stewardship Officer, just to speak briefly about the fundraising programs that the office is busy with. Pretty?
Thank you, Nishi. Saying we have 12 minutes left is giving me a bit of pressure because I speak fast anyway. But let me try and speak a bit concise.
Not too fast though, eh?
I'll try to be, audible. Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Pretty Zulu, and I'm the Fundraising and Stewardship Officer at the Advancement and Alumni Relations Office here at DUT. I'd like 2 minutes of your time to briefly highlight the department's two main initiatives that we seek funding for, above other projects. So firstly, we have the Alumni Bursary Program. As we are passionate about improving the lives and livelihoods of our students, this fund was initiated to augment the NSFAS allocation to DUT. The specific focus was on the students who fell between the cracks of either not having enough funds to study or falling short of the national allocation criteria. The fund relies on the philanthropic giving and donations from internal and external stakeholders. So from pre-alumni, which would be students, to our staff, to outside organizations, all funds assist us in ensuring that academically deserving students are not denied the opportunity to study due to financial constraints. So that's the Alumni Bursary Program. As I said, I'm just, browsing over these initiatives. So the second most important one is the Pagimpilo program, which is Serve Life. This is a food security initiative which was launched under the name One Meal Once a Day, which was a feeding scheme campaign to assist needy students across all our DUT campuses to provide at least one meal once a day. Throughout the years, we have handed over the reins to the Student Counseling Department to initiate and see through the process from the beginning to the end. They facilitate how each student can apply to be a part of the program and receive food vouchers and/or food parcels, respectively. If you know or yourself know of anyone who would make use of this initiative, please feel free to get in contact with the Student Counseling Department. In Durban, it would be Candice Leith, and in Midlands, it would be Togozanis Tole. Being a part of the DUT giving community comes with its perks, above just assisting our students and making a positive impact in their lives, and obviously that good mushy feeling you get from helping others. All donations and in-kind donations, which is not monetary donations such as assets, so tangible and intangible goods, items, vehicles, books, property, etc., or even software, you can claim a tax deduction for your donations that you make to DUT, as we are a Section 18A approved organization. I'm having a bit of, technical difficulties here, but I will insert all the contact details in the comment section of all of the names that I've mentioned above, as well as the contact details of our departments for your perusal. As you see on the screen here, we also have a case for support booklet. I will also have the link in the comment section or the actual booklet itself. Should you need any other information or further elaboration on what I spoke about, please feel free to get in contact with me privately on my email, which is prettyz@dut.ac.za. Thanks, Nish.
Thank you, Ms. Zulu. I hope you guys found that a bit useful, and we would welcome any support. I would like to respond to one of the questions that was asked in terms of how can a student who graduated but does not have their qualification due owing to fees better the chances of being employed. So what we can assist the individual with, if they could get hold of the office, they could get a letter from the faculty confirming that they have received their qualification from DUT. Our office, the Advancement and Alumni Relations Office, does get funding from time to time. It's not a huge amount. We do get funding from corporate sponsors. We also get from postgrad, but we will check whether we are in a position to assist the student with outstanding debt and see, if we are able to assist you get that certificate. But obviously there would be criteria that would need to be followed. So you can contact the office, or you can contact me at nishig@dut.ac.za. I'll pop that in the chat. So we've got a few minutes left. Let me move over to Zipo Kamane, who will be talking about the ways to give. Thank you.
There's always somebody out there that's going to be.
Good morning, everyone. Not sure, Nishi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. My name is Zipo Tamane. I'm a Prospect Research and Database Officer here at DUT for the Office of Advancement and Alumni Relations. Basically, my task here is to show you guys how you can give us money. Okay, basically, what's happening is this is the page from the DUT alumni page, which if you click on the DUT website and then you click the alumni tab, or you go to dutalumni.com, you cannot land on the page like this. Earlier on, I think it was Nishi to talk about DUT Connect, where you can register. We've done this in a way that it's more convenient for you. When you land on our page, you get this pop-up link, which will take you to the DUT Connect platform where you can register. Mind you, this platform here is only for our DUT community, only for people who studied or studying at DUT. That include our legacy institutions, your Natal Techs, your MS Towns, and all of that. So this is a great way to hook up with an old classmate, or you can suggest a connection and send the details of someone that you think we might be able to reconnect with, and then you can send us that information so that we can reach to them and try and create this engaging community. In this way, you guys can be able to organize events such as reunions and all of that, of course, with the help of the office. But all you need to do is register, and then you can be connected. Okay, so my duty here today is to show you guys our ways to give page. This is our ways to give page. In brief, it shows you that all the information that you get, the tax certificates and all of that. So this is it shows you all the benefits that you get when you're donating a DUT. We got 4 options. We've got the online option. When you click on this one here, it takes you to the online page where you can make the payment, the donations. All you need to do is just select the projects that you think you are familiar with or that you might want to give to, like the one meal once a day, and then you enter your details. So these are this information, and enter this information. It helps us in a way that we are able to update your details and stay in touch with you. So your recent information is very, very, very important that we get it, and then in that way we can be able to stay connected, keep you updated with such events like today's one that we're having now. So since this is an online option, automatically it comes with an option for a card. And then here, these are suggested amounts that you think you might want to donate. Since I'm feeling generous today, let me donate 1,000. So, and then the next page from here, it should take you to the next page. Oh yeah, here, if you want to remain anonymous, it's fine. You can make it that option. You can click that option here, and then it will take you, it will hide your information. Okay. So the next page, it takes you to the official, our safe and very secure paying system, which is our VCS. So from here, you can enter your card information and all of that. So I'll finish that information later to give 1,000 rand. Our second option is to do the bank deposits. Okay, somebody's got their mic open. Could you please mute the mic? Let me just mute that. Sorry about that. The second option is the bank details. When you click on the bank details, and then they pop up automatically on the page, and then this is all the information you require, the account number and everything. And then, of course, the reference would be your name, surname, as well as the initiative that you are trying to donate to. And then the third option is the form. It's an online form. So with this one, we use it for staff as well as we use it for alumni. So when you click on it, automatically the form will pop up, and then that's where you will select whether you are a staff or you're an alumnus. And of course, we have friends of the university, people who haven't studied at DUT, but they say that they like DUT, or people who studied at DUT but didn't graduate and all of that. So all kind of people, as long as they're giving us good money, and then we have that option for you, and then that way you can just click on it. If you see that these two types of forms are not the same, for the staff is completely different one, and for the alumni is for completely different again. So you just fill in all your information and everything, and then you're good to go. And another option is the Zapper. We have the Zapper code. where if you have the Zapper app, all you need to do is just go to your Zapper app and then click on the Zapper payment here on our page, and then all you need to do is just scan this code, and then automatically Zapper will pick up all the options as well as your information, and we will get notifications that so and so just made a donation, this amount to this initiative using Zapper. So yeah, we're trying all the time to make your life easier and try and be as convenient as we can. So if there's any question regarding ways to give, please feel free to raise them, and then I'll be able to answer you.
Thank you very much, Zipo, for that. Guys, I know it might be quite a lot of information to take in at the moment in this last few minutes that we've presented to you. Should you have any questions, please feel free to contact the office. Pretty has given hers. You can, like I said, contact me at Nishieg, that's NISHIEG, at dut.ac.za. Should you have any further questions regarding the presentation, regarding Ms. Fikeni's presentation, or anything that you'd like to find out from the office, we are most happy to assist you. However, I see it's 11:01 now and we're a minute over. So I would like to firstly thank Ms. Fikeni for agreeing to present and be part of this webinar series. Thank you so much, and I am certain that the information you have imparted to our participants today will help them greatly to hone their work preparedness skills, to hone their CV writing skills, and will assist them in the future. Thank you so very much for that. I would also like to thank each and every one of you for making the time to be part of this webinar, for joining us, and for posting your questions, and for your interest in attending. Thank you to my colleagues, Pretty and Zipo, for all the work that went into it. And I wish you all well, a blessed and safe week ahead. Stay safe. Thank you. Take care. Bye.